Hi, everybody. Welcome. Welcome to the mat. Welcome to this moment and to your practice. So my name is Evan Watson, and this is a gentle yin class through East Beach Yoga. And I'm recommending for today's class 2 blocks if you have a blanket and a bolster or a pillow of some sort. Any or all of those would be really nice additions to this practice. So we're going to get started in a comfortable seat. You can sit like I am with your feet under the tailbone and a block underneath the tailbone, or you can just find a cross-legged position with one ankle in front. If you don't have a block, do sit up on a pillow of some sort, ensuring that that your hips are lifted. It allows a little bit of length through the spine, more ease on the knees as well. And go ahead and close your eyes if that feels comfortable for you. Otherwise, just find a soft gaze down to the earth. Palms can rest down in your lap, encouraging a grounding, energetic sensation. You might take a big breath in through the nose and an audible release from the mouth. If that felt good, do it a few more times. Using that breath to begin to connect mind, body, spirit. Eventually come to a nice steady breath in and out of the nose. Begin to scan the physical body. That outer layer of our form, of which we have 5. So referring to the koshas here, a physical body known as the Annamaya kosha. And so there's a wisdom that comes through the body in physical form. And so just scanning the body, noticing if there's anything that you're coming to practice with, anything that you're physically holding on to. So that might be soreness in the low back, maybe tension around the neck and shoulders. Maybe it's something a little more subtle, like tightness in the belly or chest. If you detect any holding at all, any tension at all in the physical body, I invite you just to send a little bit of awareness to that space. Maybe send a few rounds of soft, gentle breath to those spaces, ensuring them that you will be mindful of those spaces throughout this practice. And then bring your awareness to the mental, emotional body. So going just one more layer in. 2 more layers in. So that Manomaya kosha. And same thing, if there are any mental or emotional tensions within, see if you can just acknowledge them in this moment. Letting those spaces within you know that you will be gentle. And that those sides of you will receive your attention. This is a good time to create an intention to guide the remainder of practice. For me, my intention lately has been softness. If that resonates with you, let that be. If you need something else, then find it now. Bring palms together at the heart. And we'll take another cleansing breath in through the nose, all the way in, filling the whole body. Out audibly. Good. Release hands down, slowly opening the eyes. Find a tabletop position. So we'll just find a little bit of a flow, tapping into the water element here, just to warm up the spine before we find stillness. So on the inhale, I'll just have you lower the belly and lift the gaze up. And on the exhale, push the earth away, round through the spine, chin and the chest. Like water, just let your body just flow. Inhaling as you rise, exhaling as you fold in. Eventually, you might find that the body wants to find some other kind of organic movement. Maybe drawing circles with the ribs. Maybe drawing circles with the hips. Let's take just 3 more rounds of breath here. Whatever your movement looks like. And then keeping the round through the spine, shift the hips back towards the feet and close the knees, finding a child's pose. So sometimes it's really nice in a yin practice to have a blanket over the mat. I didn't say that earlier, but if you'd like to reposition right now, since we're still at the start of practice, and fold a blanket, maybe you were sitting on it like I was, you can just reposition it so that it's laying across the mat, so that you have a nice soft cushion underneath your knees. So we'll come into that child's pose, knees together, allowing the spine just to round through, allowing the forehead to rest on the ground, or maybe a block. For me, in this posture with my knees closed, I like to have 1 block under the chest and then 1 block under the forehead. You can also choose to take one of your 2 blocks and place it in between your heels and your butt if your butt is hanging up too far in the air. And so just coming to that first edge in this child's pose. And in all that transition and movement, maybe you've lost awareness of the breath, awareness of the subtle sensations that that organic breath creates within and around the body. So just come back to that. Noticing the breath as it rises in and out of the nasal passage. Again, wanting to make sure that you're supporting any body parts that are in the air, because the stretch reflex will want to hold in order to support that muscle. And so we give it enough physical support so that those surrounding muscles can really just let go of their hold. Begin to bring your awareness to your low back, so right around the sacrum. And take a breath in through the low back, and then let it release. So as if your lungs are positioned there in the low back. Feel the expansion as you breathe in, and the contraction in that space as you breathe out. And then we'll bring our awareness to this around the ribs, so in the middle back. I want you to breathe in through that space so that I could see, almost as if I could see your ribs expanding and spreading on the inhale, and then pulling back into themselves on the exhale. Inhaling to find that full expansion. exhaling to bring it all back in. We're going to then bring our awareness to our upper back. So that space right in between the shoulder blades. And if ever you need to change your position, you need to find a little movement, maybe spread the knees or do whatever you need. Maybe drop deeper into the pose. Go ahead and find it. You can find any movement. You can come out of a posture early. This is your practice, your body. So do what it is that you need so that you feel fully gratified and fulfilled. So bringing your awareness to the space in between the shoulder blades. Take a breath into that space. Once again, feeling the shoulder blades spread away from each other. Feeling that upper back lift up, almost like you're lifting the ceiling with your back. And then exhale to bring it all back in. Do that one more time. Good, and then we'll bring that whole breath together. My alarm went off. We'll just do this 3 more rounds and then we'll come out of this posture. So bringing your awareness to the low back. Take a breath in through the low back. Let it rise into the middle back, all the way up into the upper back, expanding the back of the heart. Inhaling from the upper back, mid back, low back. Again, this time seeing if that inhale can rise all the way up to the crown of the head. And then as you exhale, release from the crown of the head all the way down the back, ending in the low back. One more time, just like that. Beautiful, perfect. From here, if you haven't already done so, I'm gonna have you spread your knees a little bit wider. Now, if your knees are feeling like too much pressure, it's too much bend, place a pillow or a blanket under, or even a towel under either knee. Coming into tadpole from here, knees wide, noticing that there's no deep stretch on the inner or outer knee. And then we'll thread the needle, extending our right arm underneath our left, stretching the right outside of the right side of the shoulder. Letting your head, right side of the head, rest on a block or a pillow. That left arm can be extended forward. So the left arm can be extended forward, or you can wrap it around, finding more of a twist and more engagement, more of a stretch for that left shoulder. So we'll just take just about 3 rounds of breath into that shoulder. Again, maybe imagining that your lungs are positioned in that space and that you can feel the subtle expansion and contraction with each round of breath. Slowly begin to make your way out, extending right arm along to meet the left, and then walk the arms over to the right side. So stretching through the left side of the body. See if you can walk your left fingers to be a little bit extended further than the right. You can rest the forehead down on the ground or on the block. We'll breathe in through the left side of the body. Starting from the left hip, rise up to the left ribs, left arm, left fingertips. Exhale, left hand, left arm, left ribs, left hip. One more time. Inhale, left hip, left lungs, left arm, left fingertips. Exhale just the way it came in. One more full round of breath in. Exhale, walk the fingers back towards the center. And then we'll take the left hand and slowly drape it under the right. Stretching that left shoulder. Remember that in a yin practice, we're coming just to our edge. So just to that space, that stretch where you feel a slight stretch, but you're not overstretching it. So what we're doing here is we just come to our edge, we're ensuring that those muscles are stayed supported and safe so that that stretch reflex doesn't kick in. So that all the surrounding muscles can really let go. Take just one more breath there. And then release the arm. And slowly walk your way over to the left side, extending the right arm, so reaching through the right fingertips. Breathe through the right side of the body. Same thing that we did on the other side. Just watch your breath rise all the way up. And then out just the same way it came in. And then after your 3 rounds of breath like that, you'll come back to your child's pose. Choose your favorite version of it. And just be there and notice the dissipation of the energy. And so my teacher, Shayla Worsley, she taught us that child's pose is like a whole body mudra. This is the position that we find ourselves in the womb when there were no worries, no concerns, all of our needs were met. So in these last 2 rounds of breath here, see if you can remember that time. That time when there was nothing to be worried about. You were completely safe and protected. And then with ease, slowly shift onto your belly, allowing your legs to extend along the mat. Feeling that nice release through the knees. Stack one palm over the other. Rest your forehead on the palm. And you can lay here in stillness for a moment, or you might allow the pelvis to rock side to side. And then if it feels inviting, you might bend the knees and windshield wiper the legs side to side. So flowing like water here. And then we'll bring our hands a little bit more forward in front of our shoulders. Continuing that water sensation. So on the inhale, we'll just begin to straighten our elbows. And so if this feels like too much of a stretch in the low back, you can spread the hands even wider so that they're off of the mat. And then on the exhale, we'll release the heart down and tap the forehead to the earth. So inhaling to lift up from the back of the heart, head follows. Exhale to slowly release yourself down. Continue that for about 5 more rounds of breath. Noticing that you're being guided from the inside out. So allowing that pranic force that moves in and around you to simply guide the physical movement. And then next time you find yourself down, rest one more time on your belly. Noticing the spread of dissipation after those long stretches. You might notice that you feel a pointed sensation in one place. And if so, that's an indication that your body was brought past its edge. So just be mindful of that sensation. And as we continue through this practice, see if you can come just before that edge. So no pinching or firing sensation. We'll work our way up to Sphinx. Walk your elbows back so that they're under the forearms. You spreading the fingers and using the forearms and the palms to push yourself away from the earth. Now, some of us, this is a perfect stretch. Some of us, this might be too much. And in that case, you would just extend your forearms a little bit more further so that the elbows are in front of the shoulders. Others, it might be nice to have a block under either forearm. And so just lifting yourself up even more so that it's in even larger of a back bend here. Just being mindful that you're only coming to that edge. Just to that place where you feel that first bit of stretch. And then we'll play with the positioning of the head. So I invite you to let the chin just fall down into the chest. Breathe into the back of the neck. And then roll the head over to the right, stretching through the left side of the neck. And then chin back to chest over to the left. And continue that for a few more times. You might notice that the head wants to drop all the way back, stretching through the front of the left side of the neck. You might pause in one place if there's a particular spot in either side of the neck that wants a little bit more attention. You might send breath there. We'll be here for about another minute. You can play with the positioning of the belly, noticing the difference in sensation as to when the navel is pulled in towards the spine, compared to when the belly just relaxes into the earth. And just noticing what it is that your body, that your energy is asking for right now. Remembering that what you need now might be different than what you think you need or what you often need. Just honoring where you are in this exact moment. For another 30 seconds, you might see if the head wants to lift up and back, opening through the front of the neck. Between now and 3 breaths from now, slowly release back to the belly. You can rest one side of the face on the ground or stack one palm over the other and rest the forehead on the top of the palm. And just stay in a moment of stillness at first, just pausing to once again notice the dissipation throughout the whole body. Maybe noticing a sensation of something melting away throughout the low back. Maybe the middle back or the shoulders, belly and chest. And then we'll have you slowly work your way up to your seat, coming into that same seated posture that you started with. And noticing if in this posture, if you feel different than when you first sat down on your mat. Noticing how it feels now, physically, mentally, emotionally. And then come back to noticing the breath. Drawing awareness to the second layer of our being, the pranamaya kosha. Noticing the wisdom of this vital pranic force. Maybe noticing the connection of all three first layers. That physical body connected with the energetic body, connected with the mental and emotional body. Noticing the relationship between each and the impact that each has on the other in this particular moment in time. And then slowly we'll begin to transition into deer pose. So I'll have you lean over to your left side so that you're on your left hip with the left foot in front of the body, left knee bent, right knee bent, also right foot behind the body. This is where it might be nice to have a blanket under the tailbone. And so I kind of like to fold the blanket that was underneath me so that my right hip is more supported, so that I have just a little bit of lift so that my hip's not just hanging out in the air. But my teacher said it really doesn't matter if it is, as long as it feels safe in your body. And you'll notice that in this position, the right thigh bone is really kind of jutting into the pelvis. That's okay, we're looking for that, but we're not looking for that pinching sensation. And so if you feel that, just reposition the femur bone so that you feel it's a compression, but not over compression. Ensuring also that the inside and the outside of both knees is not getting overstretched. Really no sensations on the inner or outer knee. And then we'll do a fun little flow here. So hands are gonna be in front of your body. I'm gonna have you lift the spine up straight. So like you're lifting the chest and the gaze up towards the sky. We're gonna flow in and out of a wave here. So take a big breath in, inhaling through the whole body. On the exhale, round the spine, tuck chin into chest, dive under the wave. Inhaling to come right up and through it. Exhale, round through the spine, chin into chest. Inhale to rise up. Continue that for a few more rounds. Just let your spine move organically. You might find that the hands want to spread wide, that you want to shift towards the left knee, and then maybe the right knee. Maybe you find some other kind of movement all together. Maybe it's a rotation of the ribs if you did that earlier. Just letting the body follow that energetic guide. Trusting that your whole being knows exactly where you need to go next. And then next time you rise up, hold that breath in, squeeze the muscles at the pelvic floor, pull the navel to the spine, stay tall, see if you can sip in a little bit more air in, and then exhale, let it all go. Left hand to the mat next to you. We'll begin to reposition our thigh bone almost so that it's facing down, almost so that that knee is facing down. Now, you can see just that. Some of us might feel a stretch in the hip flexor just with that sensation, just with that right leg extended back. Others might bend the knee and bring the hand just to the inside of that back foot with the elbow straight. Maybe if that's okay, and you'd like more to get to your edge, maybe the foot comes on the inside of the elbow. But see, when I do that, I'm feeling a pinch in my left hip. So for me today, that's not available, and that's okay. Just come to that first edge. And we'll take 3 rounds of breath right in this C curve. So bring your awareness to that right knee. Take an inhale through the right knee. Let it rise up the right thigh, right hip, right lung, the right side of the face. Exhale, right side of the face, right shoulder, right lung, right leg. 2 more times. Just watch that breath rise up and down the right side of the body. Maybe for the last round of breath, maybe you found that you can go take that edge, take that stretch just a little bit deeper. Noticing that as you hold a posture, eventually that sensation of stretch dissipates. On the exhale, slowly release that right foot down. And then shift back so that you're in the same position as you were before. And we'll walk our hands forward. First, keeping the spine long. So what this is finding a metal element to the stretch, especially if you have any any back injuries or back pains, but you want to stretch the hip, you can stay here. You'll probably notice a nice full stretch in the left side of the hip. Being mindful of that front knee in particular. If you feel any pinching on the inside or outside of the front knee, just reposition the foot. I can't tell you where you need to reposition. There's so many choices. Just move it around so that pinching dissolves. Maybe you feel a stretch on the front of the left knee, but not on the inner or outer. Now you can stay here in this metal element, so with the back extended straight, or you can begin to just round forward. You might play with shifting the body over the foot or over the knee, or just stay in the middle. Just exploring where it is that the body needs to go to get the best sensation here. The sweetest sensation. As if it's what your body has been waiting for all day long. Just a few rounds of breath. In and out of the nose. Maybe visualizing that pranic force expanding and then releasing through whatever spaces are feeling the stretch the most. Between now and 2 breaths from now, you can slowly rise up. As slowly as you came in. Extend both legs long. Ooh, that feels good. And then just let the hands rest behind you. So coming into hammock. And just do what you need. Maybe bend and straighten those knees. Maybe windshield wiper the feet side to side. Maybe the ankles want to rotate. But then eventually pause for a moment and just notice the natural dissipation that comes with that pause around the knees, hips, maybe the quads. And then we'll shift forward, wrap the right leg around the left. Right foot is going to be on the ground. If that's not available to you, if your hips lift as you do that, just keep the right foot on the inside of the leg, and you can just hug the knee in this way. If you have the wrap your left arm around the right knee, right hand behind you, finding a twist. But because this takes more engagement, so we're doing a little bit of work, we're not going to hold it as long. I want you to take a big breath in and find length through the spine. On the exhale, see if you can organically twist a little bit deeper. One more time, big breath in, find that length. Exhale, twist a little bit deeper. And then again, we'll find just half circles with the head, bringing the head to the left, over to the right. So we're looking for that space in the neck that's wanting to hold all of our stresses. So that space where when you find it, it says, yes, yes, I need to be released. Once you find that space, pause there. Send 2 breaths full of love and compassion to that space where you're choosing to pause. Love and compassion for every single aspect of you, every one of your layers. On your next inhale, come back to the center slowly, gently. On the exhale, right arm around the leg, twist to the other side just long enough for that exhale. Inhale, come back to center. And we do all of that on the other side. And we're doing so great. So, deer pose, other side. And if you chose to fold your blanket down on the other side, then do it here. This yin practice, there's no rush. No rush in getting into any posture. No rush to finish. No rush to get deeper. Rather just soaking in and enjoying every little minute of it. And so when you're all settled, so your knees feel good, your hips feel good, we'll find that movement, find that flow, riding the wave. Inhale to lift chest and gaze. Exhale to dive down under the wave. Inhale, rise up. Notice how good it feels to take a big breath in. And then equally how good it feels just to let it all go. Maybe you allow the body to carry you in a different direction. Maybe you notice a subtle smile that wants to rise to the surface from within. Next time you rise up, take a big breath in, hold it in, hold those bandhas in, belly to spine, pelvic floor muscles in. Can you sip in a little bit more air? And then let it all go. Right hand to your right side. Shift so that the left hip is pointing down a little bit more. So we're not coming completely square hipped, but a little kind of in between. Then, same thing, you can keep that leg extended. For some of us with knee stuff, that'll just feel so good. Just to let that knee be extended and just to hang out there. For others, the hand can come on the outside or the inside of the foot. If you bring it to the inside, that'll create more stretch in the front left delt. So if you're looking for that, then find it that way. Otherwise, if you have any shoulder stuff, it might just be nicer to have the hand on the outside of the foot. Just coming to that edge, maybe it's all the way. Maybe it's halfway, and that last breath can be all the way. And then we'll breathe through our left side. Now being mindful too, didn't say it on the other side, but that right hand can be super far out from the body. You can just play with what it feels like compared to the hand closer or the hand farther away. And then bring your awareness to your left knee. Inhale from the left knee, left thigh, left hip, ribs, shoulder, left side of the face. Exhale, left face, left ribs, shoulder, leg, and knee. It's more fluid when I don't speak of it. So do 2 more rounds, just like that. So breathing through the left side, the moon, feminine side of our being. That side of us that is calm and cool and gentle. Slowly release the foot if it's lifted. Come back to the center. Reposition the femur bone as you need. Hands in front. Take a big breath in. Exhale, begin to walk yourself forward. For some of us, we feel the stretch just as with our chest lifted. So if that's you, then just stay there. Otherwise, you walk forward. But keeping that long spine to start. And then choosing if it's safe for your spine, if it's inviting from your spine, to just fold in. Coming just to that first edge, remembering that there's plenty of time to fall deeper. So if you find that the mental or emotional body has gotten kind of out of whack, is speaking up to you, there's a good breath that you can do. It's called 2-count breath. You can just breathe in for 2 counts, hold at the top, and then let it all go through the mouth. Go in for 1, 2, hold, and then just let it melt away. Sometimes what happens in these long hold postures or in life, in real life, is that our body is safe and protected, but somewhere in the patterns of the mind and emotion, we are tricked to thinking otherwise. That's when our fight or flight instincts arise, creating stress, really unneeded stress and tension. Take just 1 more round of breath. And then slowly work your way back up. Hold the breath in 1 more time. Squeeze through the pelvic floor. Let it go with a sigh. Extend the legs out. Whatever kind of movement that your body is craving. I like to do a little shake sometimes. You can even choose to take your hands and pat all around the knees and the thighs. And then we'll hang out in hammock. So we came here earlier. after the other side. But we're gonna hang out here a little bit longer. So for me, I like to make it active after the long holds, which looks like pushing the ground away, straightening the elbows, pushing the chest out. And for me, I like to just let the head fall back. But for you, you might decide that you still want that calm, grounding, energetic sensation. If that's the case, just hang out. You can just sink into the shoulders, like a little turtle going into its shell. You can let the belly just relax, and the head can do what it does. It can fall forward, it can fall back. So just move around in that position until you find the posture where your body just says, yes. Yes, this is what I want. This is exactly what I need. Your body is so, so wise. Because it has the wisdom of the other lower, deeper, more intuitive layers. Sometimes it just takes pausing long enough for those deeper layers to be able to speak to us. Slowly begin to make your way onto your back. And you can just windshield wiper the knees side to side. So feet on the ground, let the feet be super wide so that the knees have plenty of space to move. And then we'll find a supported bridge. So take your block or your pillow. If you're using a pillow, see if you can use 2 pillows, or maybe a bolster like so is good too, to lift the hips up and then allow them to just fall down onto whatever prop you're choosing to use. For me though, I like to be able to fall down onto a harder surface. It feels more supportive, but also I feel like I can come a little bit more to that edge. So if you are very flexible in the back, maybe your edge is with the block halfway. If so, come to that position. Whatever position where you feel that nice stretch, but you're not going overboard, so that the surrounding muscles, and as well as the mind and the emotions, they can just let go. No controlling, no gripping. Allowing the pelvis to melt down into whatever structure is underneath you. Noticing as the body just naturally breathes itself. You might notice that the longer you stay here, the more inviting that the posture gets in the body. Between now and 3 breaths from now, release the prop that's underneath you and slowly lower your hips all the way to the ground. When you do that, allow the feet to stay wide and let the knees fall into each other. So you're in like a knock-knee position. Bring one hand on your belly and one hand on your heart. So connecting to every layer of you. Reminding yourself here in this moment, here in this body of yours, that you are so perfect and whole. Just breathe into that awareness, that truth.
Don't jump. Don't jump.
Exactly as you should be.
She has to jump.
Exactly where you should be.
You need to be like your master.
So you might have found the even more subtle layer, that fourth layer of our being, known as the Vishnana Maya Kosha. This is our intuitive or wisdom layer. And it comes from beyond thought, beyond emotions. This is where our inspiration or deep inner knowing comes from. So it arises without even having to think about it. So you've probably experienced this sensation throughout life. Maybe you went on a run and you had just this amazing epiphany about your life. Maybe it was stemmed from watching a sunset. Maybe from playing with your dogs. Maybe from the most seemingly minute and insignificant conversation. Sometimes it's just the smallest moments in life that allow us to awaken to these deeper, more subtle layers of our being. If there are any other postures that you need right now before releasing into your final rest, I invite you to take them now. So for me, I always like to take a supine twist. Kind of gives me that sensation of a final rinse clean. For other people, maybe that looks like a happy baby or just hugging the knees into the chest. And for others, maybe you have gotten all that you need. And it's time just to be still, to completely drop in to the deepest layer. That peaceful, blissful state of what it is to be you. So come into your Shavasana posture when you're ready, using props as you need, maybe a blanket over the hips for a grounding sensation, or over the whole body to keep you warm. Maybe you place something over the eyes to bring just a little bit of darkness so that you can really pull in. You might take a final cleansing breath in through the nose. Big sigh to the mouth. And just be here for a few moments. Scan your body. See if there's any way that you can soften, let go just a little bit more. Thousands of years ago in India, when yoga and Ayurveda first became a part of human existence, there was an understanding that this openness to the present moment is the best and first food that we should receive every single day. And they believed and followed that if you miss this food of presence, then you start your day off hungry, looking to fill the self with junk foods, junk experiences, just to try to find some kind of fulfillment. So our yin practice is a way that we can turn back inward to this truest version of ourselves, to this place where we are completely open to the present moment. As you inhale, notice the sensation of getting filled up in the best sense. Begin to find subtle movement in the body. Eventually extending your arms along the ears, stretching from one side of the room to the next. Just feeling that whole body expansion and reach. And then roll over to your right side. As my teacher taught me, rolling to the right side to preserve some of the shavasana-like state. So with our left nostril on top, that moon, calm side of our being, it opens the lunar channel for seated or meditation, or maybe just to come back to your day with a sense of calm and peace. So slowly work your way up to a seated position. Coming back to that place where we started, you can let your palms rest down in your lap. Close the eyes, and one more time, observe the whole body in this position. You might notice that there's some part of you within that just feels like smiling for no reason. Maybe just some kind of blissful and peaceful state. You have reached the Anumaya Kosha, your fifth layer. So the deepest, most truest part of who you are. Bring your palms back to heart center. So bringing the depth of our being to the surface. The light in me is so, so grateful for the light that shines out of you. Thank you so much for practicing with us today. Namaste. Thank you guys. It really is an honor to be able to share this practice with you, to share my practice with you. If you have any questions at all about what we did today, or just any comments, or you just want to chat about it, y'all both know where to reach me. So reach out. Let's see. One other thing, I'm offering a class on Wednesdays. It's called the Core of Challenge Postures, and so what we do, it's just 30 minutes. It's a pretty powerful class, but we really work on strengthening and opening the parts of the body that can bring us into more challenging postures. So whereas this practice is our full moon side, that practice really brings in the sun side. The thing that I love about yoga is the question is how can we find a balance of both qualities? And so bringing the energy into the calm, bringing that sense of gentleness into the power. So if you're interested in trying that with me, you can email me, you can call me, and that's it. So thank y'all, and I hope you have such a wonderful, wonderful day. Namaste again.